before I start, if you enjoy my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, this is my opinion based off of my playstyle and preference. I prefer the vanilla jet sculpture over the custom, and I have a few reasons for this. First is the special. As you know, the custom jet sculpture has Stingray, and it only takes 180 special points to get to Stingray. So of course, people spam the heck out of it. You always see those jet sculptures with a ton of special charge in your matches. I recently had a game where the custom jet sculpture on the other team had 2 Stingrays within the first 30 seconds of the game. And throughout that entire match, they didn't die a single time. They just painted and spammed their Stingray. It was really annoying. And I get that spamming Stingray is a good tactic. You see it happen a lot in competitive Splatoon too. But you know what also happens in comp Splatoon? Missile spam. Now I'm not really one to spam any kind of special. I like to focus objective and use my special to support as we push and defend, but I do prefer the missiles over Stingray. And if I need to spam my missiles a little bit in order to scatter the opponents, I don't mind doing it. Now I'm not saying to only spam missiles the entire game and ignore the objective, because I know we've all had those teammates with 1 kill and 12 missiles in the span of 5 minutes, and you end up losing a lot of points for it. It's not fun. I will say that spamming Stingray is more effective for getting kills than missiles if you know how to use it correctly. But I think there's a balance between using missiles and using your actual weapon that needs to be reached in order to have maximum effectiveness. Another thing about Stingray, you have to take the time to get into a safer position so you don't die, since Stingray can take a while to use and someone can rush you within that time frame. For missiles, however, it doesn't take as long to use your special and you don't need to move that far back. Since I like to play objective, I can get back into the action quicker. And I suck at Stingray, like I'm awful at it. How do people aim with it? The second they're out of my ray, I can't find them again and I struggle to finish them. I know people say to use your map to aid you, but I still find it difficult to consistently hit them and finish kills. And until I take the time to learn Stingray, I think missiles is the next best thing. Both can move backlines out of position, show you where your opponents are, and make the opponents scatter. Compared to the vanilla jet sculpture, I will say that the custom jet sculpture requires more skill. You need to know how to aim with burst bomb and Stingray effectively. And I think people still haven't reached that skill level yet. I can understand why people think that the vanilla jet sculpture is a bad weapon considering the people that they run into in solo queue. I've had my fair share of not very good V-Jet players. Now onto the sub-weapon. I will not lie, Burst Bomb is probably the better sub-weapon compared to Toxic Mist. It's useful for movement, finishing kills, and up-close battles. But that doesn't mean that Toxic Mist is a terrible sub-weapon. I like to use it to stop opponents from running away so I can finish them, and since I like to go for kills in addition to playing objective, I find it useful to my playstyle. And if I need to run away, I can throw one behind me to slow them down. It can also be useful for helping teammates stop pushes by depleting the enemy's ink tank and slowing them down, making them easier to hit. Toxic Mist doesn't damage the opponent, but it is useful in a lot of other situations. Here's why I think the vanilla jet sculpture kit is viable in all of the modes. For Rainmaker, Toxic Mist slows down the Rainmaker carrier and can potentially stop the enemy from getting the lead. The missiles can stop a push from happening by ruining their momentum. In tower control, missiles are useful for checkpoints, forces them off the tower, and can allow your teammates more time to prevent them from getting on it. And you can use the Toxic Mist to stop them from moving around on the tower and avoiding your shots. In splat zones, you can use missiles to push opponents out of the zone and paint it a bit. And the Toxic Mists can lower their ink tank while they're trying to paint and retake the zone. And lastly, for Clam Blitz, the missiles can scatter them and make it more difficult for the enemy to consistently throw clams in. And the Toxic Mist can slow them from getting within clam throwing distance and allow you to hit them before they get there. And for all the modes, missiles can move the opponents out of position while you're attempting to push and potentially strengthen your lead. Overall, the vanilla jet sculpture is completely viable. Its kit can be useful in many situations, and I don't think it's garbage compared to the custom jet sculpture. A lot of people say that if you use it over the custom, you're basically throwing the game, but I don't believe that's the case. It really comes down to preference. If you're wanting to try out the jet sculptures and aren't too good with Stingray or just don't like it in general, I think the vanilla is a good place to start. Of course, you can use the custom to practice with Stingray as well, but like I said, it all comes down to playstyle and what you feel is right. I like missiles and Toxic Mist for my playstyle, and if I do eventually learn Stingray, I think I'd prefer to alternate between the two depending on the maps and the mode. Thanks for watching!